Okay, so just back to thinking about how to recruit students really. So you've decided on which course you're going to offer, and you've figured out how to timetable it and staff it, and planned your first half term of sessions. But how do you recruit students? Well, in 2019, there was just over 9,000 students that took core maths. Obviously, we don't yet know what 2020 would have been, but there is huge potential. There are hundreds of thousands of students who could be doing core maths but aren't doing any maths. At the AMSP, what we really want, the language to students to be is not, oh, are you going to do A-level maths, but which maths are you going to do? And just kind of changing that language and having the expectation that they will do some maths afterwards, I think would be really great. Sometimes it's quite nice if you can have a display if you're at open evening or something like that. And I would really recommend that you don't stand in the maths department area, because quite often these students aren't going to come to the maths because they've decided they're not doing A-level maths and they don't know there's any other options. So you can position yourself perhaps at the start, or with geography, psychology departments, those that core maths will support. This question is apparently a question that Google asks at an interview. Estimate how many tennis balls would fit onto a Boeing 747. And obviously, it's the same kind of skills, sweets in a jar, and sweets gets people over. I'm not sort of shy about using those tools to drag people over to speak to me. And I think once people hear, oh, why are Google interested in someone being able to tackle that kind of problem? And they're not alone, because apparently Manchester University asked this question to a student who was attending an interview for a physics degree. So they wouldn't be doing core maths, but still very challenging to be asked that in an interview. And how would you go about, approaching that? Well, how many people live in Manchester? What proportion of them have a piano, and how often is it tuned? So, there's different ways of tackling it, but I think it's not a matter of I know that the number, but I can get there. I can get to something which is perhaps in the ballpark. Really interesting. And I've already referred to this in the Padlet, but there are universities that will give lower offers. So the University of Bath, the University of Sheffield, and the University of York have all got statements saying that they will give students a lower offer if they achieve a certain grade in core maths. And we have heard anecdotally of other places doing the same thing, and we hope that lots more follow suit as well. There's different ways of recruiting students. I find that if you're lucky enough to have a taster day, that can be really effective. I used to kind of run into lots of different subjects for 10 minutes and say, did you know there's quite a lot of maths in biology, and you might want to do core maths as well, and this is how core maths can help you in biology. And it has the added bonus of showing the subject teacher as well what it can do, and they're often quite keen. An assembly can be really good if you can speak to the whole of year 11. Like I said, you don't want to just target those students that are sort of grade 4, grade 5. You want to be looking at really high attaining GCSE students as well. This course is, should be for everyone who achieves at least grade 4. And raising awareness amongst other subject teachers, I've already talked about that. Maybe, look at papers together, share the content with them, and they should be very supportive. We also have, the postcards and posters, which you could send out to parents, but I think a personalised leaflet can be really effective. You can choose some statements from universities that are particularly local to you, and get statements from students as well that have taken this course. So there's lots of different sort of personalised things you can say, and you can provide a bit more information about how it will be structured within your institution.